Good evening folks, and welcome to another info drop on the Run to Christ YouTube channel. Tonight we're going to cover a bit about the Jesuits and the invisible infrastructure. Now this is a PDF file. This is from the Jesuits themselves. This is from the USA Midwest province, and it's just out, spring 2020. You may have seen me show this in a previous video, but here we're going to look into the article and what it says. Now first I'd like to draw your attention to the cover of the magazine that they're putting out, and here you can see the tree imagery, and below the soil you'll notice that this is the invisible infrastructure that you cannot see. Now this is how the Jesuits operate, and this is no secret because this is their own document. Now at the roots of the tree you'll see various things like operations, communications, secondary and pre-secondary education, formation, senior Jesuit health care, you got vocations, advancement, social and international, higher education, treasurer, and so on. Now you don't see any of that. That's all behind the scenes. But how do you see it in the real world? Well, you see the tree grows and it has many branches and it has many leaves. And on the leaves, a few things here: Jesuit healthcare, important; social justice, retreats, schools, pastoral, international relationships, universities, publishing, and so on. So that's just one example of how the Jesuits view themselves. Now let's get into a little bit of the article. Now here you have the article, shining a light on the invisible infrastructure. Now remember what I said about this language, shining a light. Fauci used that recently when he is Jesuit trained. Most people know the Jesuits through their apostolates, a complex word for ministries, works or activities like Xavier University, Milwaukee's Church of the Jesuit, Detroit's Pope Francis Center, or Jesuit Retreat House, often called de Montreville, interesting name, near the Twin Cities. But what's lesser known is how the Society of Jesus is organised. How all the Jesuits serving at those apostolates are trained, formed in Jesuit speak, and I'll refer you back to the shining light and Fauci's words. So the Jesuits are trained and formed in Jesuit speak, and as I said before, when they talk they mean something completely different. Who manages their assignments to ensure the needs are matched with individuals, and where the resources come from to care for those Jesuits when they can no longer work full time? The answer to those questions is as old as the Society of Jesus itself. When the man who would become St. Ignatius of Loyola formed the Company de Jesus, he was not interested in becoming the Order's Superior General, as the role was now called. He wanted to stay on the move, but he came to realise that a centralised administration with one leader at the helm was needed, precisely because the growing number of the Society's members were dispersed to carry out missions all over the known world. So Ignatius stayed put in Rome for the last 15 years of his life because somebody had to, and he had been elected to the job. A hierarchical structure with individual Jesuits ready to go wherever the need was greatest was one of the Jesuits' many innovations. The article goes on to say, according to historian Marcus Friedrich, the goal of the Jesuit system was to balance a global governance with the need for local flexibility and adaptation through extensive administration structures thought to be particularly beneficial for the strategic planning of activities. So I'll end it with this quote from the JesuitPost.org. If the sacraments are about making invisible things visible, then so too unthinkable things thinkable, unknowable things knowable, and impossible things possible. And folks, if you've been paying attention the past few months to what's going on, don't you think the New World Order, which was invisible to everybody, but now the New World Order is much more visible?